What's up everyone, it's Claudio here, and this weekend I'm at the Supercross Cup in New York. I'm excited. It's really cold up here. It's under freezing. I've never raced this cold before. I'm racing the 4-5. It's a 30-minute race, shorter than I'm used to. Usually I'm used to the 45-minute races. So this is really going to be a hammer fest. I haven't pre-written the course. I did just register, so I'm going to get out there and check it out. I'm excited. Let's do this. All right, day one at Supercross. Guys, it's really cold. It's below freezing, 30, and with the wind chill, it felt insane. I had to put hand warmers, those like packets of hand warmers, in my gloves and in my shoes to survive this. But so here's the start. There were 78 of us. Pretty big field. I was towards the back. You know, there's maybe like a dozen or so people behind me. So things are getting clogged up as expected. And you just try to move up. Like, there's only so much you can do, but there are things you can do. I mean, you can really squeeze. If you really are aggressive, you can hammer through all these lines here. And, you know, I could have gone outside. I could have punched it really quick. Maybe I am doing that. No, I didn't. But I could have. And so, you know, you got to move them one by one when you start at the back. So for those of you who don't know, here are my stats. Age 36, I am currently about 157 pounds, a little bit on the heavier side of my weight. Usually I'm between 150 and 160, sort of off-season weight here. My real racing weight is 150. Anyways, it doesn't matter that much here, I don't think. FTP is around 240. I'm about to have to take another ramp test to see where it's at. I feel like it is a little bit, it should be higher, I hope. Anyways, my threshold heart rate is around 170, and so I should be, in these races, I should be in the 170s. On my Garmin, the way I have it set up is I have, for the warm-up, I have the timer, the heart rate, the time of day, because I need to know when it's about to start, right? So the time of day is important, and I also put power in there so I can do some intervals during the warm-up laps. And then for the races, I just have the timer and heart rate. So the heart rate is telling me when I'm slacking off. Whenever it drops below 170, when I see 150, I'm like just recovering way too much. There's no need for that. So I should be, you know, in these sections I can't really put a lot of power, so, you know, I have to do what I gotta do here. It's hard to go fast. First of all, there are a lot of people, and also the sand is a little tricky. I don't have the confidence to really get through this loose dirt. It's really easy. A lot of people slide out. So anyways, at least it's a good time to recover. But my heart rate, it needs to be, I need to be in the 170s for it to really be at a good effort. So here we're starting up again. We're coming through the start-finish line, really the finish line. I'm going to show you guys a full first lap. So I'm trying to catch a little draft here, sort of, whatever I can get. And it's good. I got my heart rate back up to where I know I'm doing some work. And this grass, it takes some effort. Right here is slightly muddy. It takes effort to get through that stuff. It's not easy. It's like you're digging in, and it's like kind of obnoxious. Here we're coming up across the hurdles. I feel like I'm doing a good job on these hurdles. I'm not going as fast as possible, but I'm just like, I usually gain like 1 or 2 spots. if I'm running and I commit to speed, I can really run through those things in like 1 or 2 steps. All right, so this section was all right. No big deal. I didn't know which line to take, the top or the bottom. I just kind of took the bottom and then cut in like this. A lot of spikes in the power. It's just so different. Totally different from crit racing or road racing, any of that. I can tell that I'm tired now. I'm getting tired. Everybody's is also kind of trying to recover from the first few minutes of the race where you really put down the power and try to get through that mess. It was a really nice day though. The sun was out. So this was the course. We're coming into this little section where we go into the woods. I try to keep my speed through these turns, but it's hard. It's all about keeping the flow and the speed. And these routes, I mean, you gotta really know the lines. I didn't really, I pre-rode maybe 2 laps, but I didn't memorize any lines or, I mean, I also don't know what I'm doing, so I'm hoping that my lines are the best, but you know, I don't know. I don't have experience. So you always have people that you can overtake. See, like these guys, they were kind of always there. I either passed them or they passed me, and it's like this kind of battle that you have between a bunch of people. Okay, this section is really steep, a really steep downhill, way steeper than it looks. And you almost think that, I mean, you're praying that there's not like a pothole at the bottom of that. I kept my speed up. I've seen a lot of people brake on that because it actually is kind of scary. But I think I braked maybe the first time slightly, and then I just hammered it every time and kept my speed. All these little uphills, they really take a lot. And that's my weakness here. It's, you know, people will overtake me in these tiny little climbs. I either have the wrong gearing, or I'm just I'm gonna blow up. You gotta anticipate and know what gears to get in. I have a big, my Super X has a 34. No, it doesn't. It doesn't have it has a 42. 42 cassette in the back. Because it has a single chainring in the front. So it goes all the way to 42, which comes in really handy right here. If this is, I forgot if I get off the bike here. Yeah, I got off. Okay, this is the only time that I got off. This is really steep. Almost everybody got off. But all the other laps, I hammered it on that 42, and I was able to get up. But it spiked my heart rate straight up to like 180s. I'll show you guys a little bit later. And then you got to get up this little hill with your heart rate already spiked, and that's brutal. It's like you can't recover until you have this little section barely, and then you have another hill. So that's really hard. This was a hard section. A lot of uphills back to back with little recovery. And you know, people are, one of the things that happens is when you get tired and your core starts to get loose, your hands and arms will get loose, and that is when you have a higher chance of wiping out and just losing control. I've seen it happen, and it almost happened to me. If you're just not completely in control, if you're not strong and completely in control, you can hit something, your wheel will bend, you know, your handlebars will bend and you'll go over them, or just your bike will slide out. So you got to stay strong, and it's really hard to do that unless you put in the time. I think some kind of strength training prior, a lot of core. I remember that my first cross race, I was shocked at, you know, how I felt my whole upper body afterwards. I was shocked how sore I was. I was shocked, you know, how, you know, the lack of strength that I felt that I had towards the end of the race. At this race, it's been 1, 2, 3. This is really my 4th race, and I've been doing a lot of core strength work at home, a lot of planks, a lot of all kinds of stuff that I've seen, you know, YouTube videos, and it's helped big time. I still need a lot more work, but I'm not a wreck. My core and upper body are still somewhat intact. So that's really important. In cross, core is super important in all cycling, but it really shows you the lack of strength that you have, you know, in the first few laps of your first race. It's just vibrating so much, everything. Handlebars, you're taking in all that shock, right? This is tight for me every time. I could never figure that out. Going to this wood section. Guys, it's 20. Look at the temperature, 28. So it felt probably like 20. Going like 10 miles an hour, you know. Freezing. And I had the hand warmers in my gloves, so it was weird. I had like these lumps in my gloves, you know, if you can imagine that, and it changed my handling abilities. I don't know. I mean, it's not that big a deal, but it felt awkward, you know. But I had to. There was no way I could survive with the gloves that I had. I didn't have like huge Gore-Tex gloves or anything, just like regular fall weather gloves. And that's that first lap, guys. I ended up finishing 59 out of 78. I didn't get lapped. I was like, I think the last person that didn't get lapped. Showing you guys the barriers here. That guy, you know, is... Okay, here's that big hill. I stay on it. Let's see what I have to do. 700 watts to get up that. And my heart rate is boom. What is it, 180? Yeah, forget it. Again, the barriers. Just cutting through. See some action here. And that's pretty much it. Day 1 of Supercross. All right, let's get right to it. Day 2, Supercross. Sunday, a little bit warmer by like 2 degrees maybe. I really wonder what it's like at the front, starting at the front. If I could really sprint, you know, I hit 700 watts, but I can't really truly sprint and hammer it. But my rankings are so low because I'm just so new to it. I can't get anywhere near the front yet. So I'm here. That's a good move here that I made. Took the lower line and got a few spaces, kind of. Well, I guess not. I needed to put more power to stay. So this was like the reverse of yesterday. It's kind of reverse. It's like reversed some parts, and they took out that big hill, that big climb, and they put in like this big swooping hill. You don't have to climb, you just go down really fast. It's actually kind of scary. So sort of the reverse here for the most part. And I felt like this was better. It was less spiky for me. Less spiky efforts, I think. I don't know. I just felt a tiny bit better and easier. You have these climbs, and it's like, ugh. It's hard to get up there without really spiking your heart rate. This guy in the purple bike, I was like, stay with the purple bike, stay with the purple bike. I can't remember, I think he ended up losing me, but the whole race, always like, purple bike, purple bike. You know, you can do that, it's fun. It's like, just pick someone that's sort of near you and say, okay, stay with them, or like pass them. It's kind of fun. It's fun to ride like that. Keeps you motivated. Oh, this was is this the big swooping? Yeah. So here it is. And people are braking. I probably braked a tiny bit. It doesn't look that steep, but it was scary because you don't know. Like I was praying that there wasn't a pothole or something at the bottom. But the ideal way to do this is you hammer it at the top and gain as much speed, and you can carry that speed all the way through this section. So still in this first lap vibes. My tire pressure was, I think I rode 25 PSI on tubeless. I have the Donnelly PDX, I believe. 33 millimeters, around 25 PSI is what I checked them out. It seemed to work great. This is a dry course, so I don't know if I need. I mean, those tires are more. They have big spikes. I don't know what they're called. Whatever you call big bumps, big rubber bumps, treads. The treads are for more wet conditions. Not totally, but they're kind of crossover. For this kind of course, on a dry day, you don't need those tires. Probably slowed me down a little bit. But whatever, I'm not gonna change like tubeless tires and deal with like the sealant and putting that. I don't know how to do that yet. I just didn't want to mess with them. So I'm riding the same tires for everything the whole season. I don't care. I'm not gonna mess with them because the front tire was a little leaky. It took me a while to really seal it, and I was nervous, and I'm still kind of nervous and insecure about it. If you don't know about tubeless tires, they go flat like overnight. They're not like tubes, where the tubes, you know, they'll maybe lose 10 PSI overnight, but the tubeless, they will go completely flat in a day or two, and you're like, what the hell? And I think that's just how it is. Maybe not completely flat, but you know, you can't ride it. I couldn't ride my bike if I didn't pump them up. So this tricky section in reverse, it's fun. It's fun to go in through the woods. I don't know. It's just like cool and like different scenery. It's like an adventure. So those are like kind of first impressions as, you know, someone that's coming from a non-mountain bike perspective. Just road, it's cool. It's like you're going in the woods. You're exploring. So that's fun. I'm digging that about cyclocross. The whole thing is like an adventure. It's just a fun vibe. not so uptight like road racing. No offense, road racing. I mean, I love it, and that's primarily what I do, but it's so uptight. Nobody's gonna yell at you about holding your line in cross. Nobody will ever say hold your line, right? Just go wild. Just go wherever the hell you want. Do whatever you want. It's just like, that's the spirit. I mean, I don't think anybody will have too many problems unless you do some really crazy aggressive stuff. But you can definitely cut corners in. This was hard. This boom, I almost hit that. I never figured out this section. It's like, I don't know how to go quickly through that. Keep my speed. So now the start finish was on a downhill. I ended up finishing 50th out of 60. There were 60 that actually finished, but there were like 15 or so that did not finish, or did not. Maybe they just didn't show up for the second day. Anyways, I didn't get lapped. That's all I care about, since I got lapped my very first race. Going into the woods. This climb was something. And then you're just like, you're hanging on to people. Like the purple bike guy is behind me, so that's cool. And there he passes me. And I'm like, shoot, purple bike. And now this big downhill, it was fun. And I kept, let's see if I really keep my, yes, see, I'm gaining ground because I'm keeping my momentum. Keeping the speed is so important in cross. You shouldn't, like the people at the front, they like barely use their brakes. But even if I were in the front, even when I'm riding alone, I can't just hammer the whole thing. I'm gonna slide out. I don't have the skills yet, but definitely I've developed a lot for sure. You know, in just the first few races, the learning curve, you will learn so much so quickly in the first few races, and become so much more comfortable to where you can actually like try to race. So that is Supercross. You know, I'm trying to keep my heart rate up, really working. Supercross was a ton of fun. Really well done. Definitely would come back. Definitely would recommend. The only thing was just freaking cold. But whatever. You know, you deal with it. Hand warmers, feet warmers, like those pocket warmer things that you buy. I get them on Amazon, like a whole box of them. And you shake them. You open them, you shake them. Those things, right? They help. Big time. And that's that, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments. A lot of people here are new subscribers. Thank you so much. If you're interested in seeing more content, please subscribe and hit that like button. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. I'm dedicating my Instagram now all to cycling. And check it out. I'm going to be going over a lot of what my winter training is, and a bunch of new videos coming up. Also, Rainy Park in Queens. Just did that yesterday. It was really awesome. Have a video for that. And I placed relatively well. Actually, my best placing so far. So really happy about that. That video's coming up. Stay tuned and see you guys out there. Oh, here's this guy. He ate it. Poor guy. I hope he didn't hurt his collarbone. He landed right on his shoulder. Anyways, he wasn't going that fast, but That's what happens. Maybe he was tired, his core went out, you never know. Anyways, thanks again for watching. See you guys out there. Peace.